The Dukascopy TV team once again brings you the week ahead, where we invite a guest to talk about several key data releases or events that could shape the markets for the week beginning Monday the 11th of February. Joining me today to talk about the upcoming U.S. Advance Retail Sales, Japan's GDP expected on Wednesday, and the BOE inflation report and much more is Theodore Kekstadt, President of Forex Trading Unlocked. Hello Theodore. What do you think investors and market players should be keeping a close eye on this week?
I think that Wednesday's numbers out of Japan are especially the ones that people need to take a look at. As far as I think that's going to be with the way that the yen has been rallying. I mean, it's such a bull market against most currencies, and I think that Wednesday's numbers will be very important in case there's any type of unexpected turns, for as far as the rate decision, excuse me, in Japan, and also as far as, how the interest rates are going to be reacting to it in front of that. I think right now, Tuesday's numbers right in front of it are going to be pretty quiet unless those really shake up the interest rates. Everyone's going to be waiting until Wednesday, I believe, for the most part.
U.S. Advance Retail Sales are released on Wednesday. What can we expect to see from this data release?
For the U.S. retail sales on Tuesdays, I think that right now it's going to be, you should expect a choppy trade. I think the most reaction you're going to have is maybe some interest rate jitters in the short-term rates. If the retail sales come out lower, I would expect to hear, it's going to be leaning more on Bernanke, what is he thinking, and more quantitative easing type of speak. If it comes out higher, which I don't really expect it to do, then I think the U.S. dollar gets a short-lived boost for maybe a day's trade at the most, but I really don't see them coming out higher in lieu of how December was and how January was. I just, from the numbers that were coming out already from a couple of weeks ago, I think the high-end retail did okay and the very low-end did okay, but the middle part I think is going to be a drag on that number.
And Japan GDP data is due for release on Wednesday. Can we expect positive data from Japan?
I think so. With the way the auto numbers have been over the past 2 months and the way Toyota and a couple other companies have been really turning things around in the wake of what they've had to deal with for the past 2 years, I think that GDP you might see a pop on that number. I'm expecting it, especially in lieu of the fact that the yen has been, falling against all these other currencies since November, October, and I think that those numbers, that effect is finally going to start to really trickle into GDP over this month and going into the next couple months.
The Bank of England inflation report is also due to be released on Wednesday. What kind of inflation figures can we expect to see?
For the British pound, for that inflation report, I think that you might see a little bit of an uptick as far as inflationary talk. I think that there's going to be pressure on that number, especially with the move that you've seen recently in oil, and with the way there has been the slowdown with trade in Europe and stuff like that. I think that most likely you're going to see a little bit of an inflationary uptick on that report.
And on Thursday, we have German GDP being released. Can we expect any growth in these figures?
Let's see. Oh yeah, for the Europe, for the ECB, for the euro, I think that you're going to see some growth there. I think it's going to be pretty neutral. I think that the biggest thing is you're not going to see any real negative fallback for GDP. With the oil, they've been rallying, and also in lieu of the way the euro has been strong for the past 3 months, I think that GDP might probably be more what the consensus is looking for, or maybe even a little bit of a shortfall, but nothing major. I think it would be more of a reaction because of the currency move, and the fact that interest rates haven't moved over the past few months as far as the euro really is concerned.
Which data release do you think will most affect the market and why?
I think that really Wednesday will be the biggest day. I think that if the numbers come out really in favor of the yen and the Bank of Japan doesn't do anything to stir up the currency, then I would have to assume that this rally in the yen you got to be a buyer of breaks, and it's going to be a strong thing for the yen. And in lieu of that, I think that is everything is going to be watching. All the other markets are hinging on that after Wednesday. Once Wednesday clears out, I think that the currencies will start to move back into more of a free trade, but I think right now they're really leaning on that number. Because if the yen has anything, if there's a big shakeup on Wednesday in Japan and there's any type of really major sell-off in the yen, that's going to be a volatile move for a lot of currencies. You could see profit taking really jump in. I mean, you're going to have any skittish longs, I think, will get scared out by any significant move. And if you have a big break on Wednesday in the yen against, say, like the dollar and the euro and also the pound, you're most likely going to see follow-through into Friday morning. It's going to probably be a 2 to 3 day correction. I would think that's really what I'm looking for.
Thanks for joining me, Theodore. That's all for now. Here at Dukascopy TV, we'll be keeping you up to date with the latest financial news throughout the trading week. For now though, goodbye.